Hold on, let me turn my hearing aid up.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything and Chill Show. I'm Rob Hunter, and this is the show where we just talk about everything that's going on the television, which I like. Movies coming out, all that good stuff. So, let's get right into it. This week we're going to talk about three main things that are big on my mind is 1, WandaVision, 2, Superman and Lois, and 3, the spinoff of Yellowstone, which is called Y 1883. First, let's talk about WandaVision. We're coming up 2 more days. We'll have a brand new episode, episode 6. Episode 5 last week gave us some real shockers, some real spoilers. And if you're listening to this show right now and haven't seen it yet and don't want to learn what's going on, turn this off right now because this is your official spoiler alert. So check it. This week on WandaVision, if you're watching the show, you know it's been crazy with the sitcom from the 50s into the 60s, 70s. Now we're finally at the 80s. It's such a rub-off of the intro was such a take on Family Ties and, you know, among other sitcoms, but it really big on Family Ties. The show was just your quintessential 80s type sitcom. It was funny, but there was some things that was dropped in there that was real heavy. And Agnes, the neighbor, she is just, I don't know what's going on with her. We have to watch her because I think she's deeply involved more than just being somebody who's been taken captive through Wanda's control or someone else's control. I think somebody personally is controlling Wanda too. I think this is something that's going to go deeper. I think we're going to see the organization AIM come into play. I think a lot's going to come out of this WandaVision, and we already know that the MCU is headed into the multiverse. We've got Spider-Man 3 that's been confirmed to deal with the multiverse. We've got this show, WandaVision, leading right into Doctor Strange, which Wanda's going to be a big part of, and that leads it's Doctor Strange in the multiverse. So this whole thing has a lot to do with the multiverse, so we need to keep our minds on that. And with the big spoiler, dun dun, Evan Peters comes back to play Quicksilver, because Quicksilver died in the Age of Ultron, her brother, Wanda's brother. So now they have recast him. They actually said it on the show. She recast him. Evan Peters from the X-Men franchise has come in to play Quicksilver. Now, what does this mean? Is there a portal open somewhere in the multiverse? Are they bringing in the X-Men this way? Is all the X-Men from the past movies going to come back and be recast? I don't know what's going on. This is going to be some good stuff. We're going to have to keep our eyes on this one. But this show is developing into the next big thing for Marvel. Now, we know that the Winter Soldier and Falcon was supposed to come out first, but they revamped things, and WandaVision has been the new intro into Phase 4 and Phase 5 for the MCU. So, without further ado, let's talk about what happened this week, okay? You had, first of all, they gave birth to the twins. Monica Rambeau gets kicked out of the energy world that she's put up here, that we see that Wanda's kind of controlling everything. Vision doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't have any memory of anything before this. We find out now that 9 days prior to the events that we're seeing, Wanda went into a facility, a sword facility, took Vision's body and resurrected him. Now, in the show, they had a dog that died on the show, and the 2 little boys kept aging up on the show, the 2 twins. And I'm not even going to say it's Wiccan and Speed yet, but that's the kids in the comics. So if it becomes Wiccan and Speed, that's pretty cool. But, you know, this has a lot to do and a lot of runoff from the comic and also the Vision comic that ran about 4 or 5 years ago where he had a cybernetic family and they had the dog Sparky and a lot of mirroring things going on there with the comic. So I like that they're doing that. They're keeping it comic relative on the show. But, all right, let's get back into the show. So they find out that it's Wanda controlling everybody. She comes out of the world to talk to Sword and threatens them and then goes back into the world. And at the end of the show, you see Vision, you see Wanda coming head to head like they're going to fight because Vision doesn't like what's going on. He can't remember anything. and he doesn't know where he's come from, how he got there, and what's going on. When I saw that this week, when I saw the both of them, I saw Vision on one side and Wanda on the other. It made me think of, Secret Wars is coming, maybe, but I think that that's not going to be the big thing in this phase. I think it's going to be something minor like they did with Civil War in Phase 3. I think it's going to be maybe one movie, maybe two movies where they do the Secret Wars. I think this is going to lead into something like the House of M or X-Men versus the Avengers. And I don't know how that's going to happen, but when you saw Wanda and Vision kind of headed off, I think that's like a foreshadowing to come that you're going to have split sides on this right here. So we've got a lot to see. But then as they're arguing, we hear the doorbell ring, and she goes to answer the door, and all you see is the back of silverish gray hair, and you think, is this Aaron Taylor Thomas that played Quicksilver in the Age of Ultron movie where he died? Did she bring him back after talking about on the show not bringing things back from the dead? Nope. Evan Peters comes in, Quicksilver from the X-Men franchise. What a beautiful way to kind of bring them in. I'm excited to see this. I hope Hugh Jackman comes back. I hope Patrick Stewart comes back. I know I heard through the grapevine there in talks to bring him back as Professor X. I'd love to see all the guys that played in any of the X-Men movies, even if it's Kelsey Grammer coming back as Beast. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind seeing James Marsden coming back as Cyclops. You know, these guys would be great in this world, and I think Marvel finally, instead of recasting everybody, what a way to bring everybody together and make it all canon from different universes. That would be great. So, on to our next subject, Superman and Lois, which is going to be premiering soon. I think in about 2 weeks. I think it's February 23rd that this is going to be premiering. And I was reading an article just the other day that I thought was really cool. They're talking about this, that Batman and Superman will reportedly meet in the Arrowverse. We know that this show is a spin-off of the Arrowverse, which concludes The Flash and Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow, and now they even brought in Black Lightning with the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover last year. So they're all kind of together in one universe. And we've seen Superman on Supergirl a couple times. He's shown up in one of the crossovers before. So, but he never was a major character where he had his own show or was on more than once or twice a season on whatever show. But now he's getting his own show. Tyler Hoechlin is playing the Man of Steel, and I think this is going to be a good. I think he plays a great Superman. I think it's a lot different than what we've seen before with the Smallville series. That was one of my favorite shows. I hope that they sign on. I can't remember his name now. I can't remember his name, and I'm not even looking at it. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't pull it up, but the guy from 2.5 Men. I hope they bring him back as Lex Luthor. I thought he played a great Lex Luthor. I think that would be perfect for the show. I don't know where they're going to go with this show. How far into his mythos are they going to go? Is it going to be a reboot? Are they going to tell as he's coming out of Smallville? Has he already been established? You know, it's a big difference to all the other shows that they've done. There's always been like an origin of Superman. They can just jump right into it. But I am excited to see it. But reporting, I'm reading this online right now from AMP Project, that they will meet. Batman and Superman will reportedly meet. Now that we've seen a version of Batman from the crossover last year, we've seen Kevin Conroy play a corrupt Batman from another Earth. They're saying that somewhere down the line that Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne will meet. So I think that's cool, because in any other version of any of these superhero shows from Arrow, we never saw a Batman. We heard about a Batman from time to time with little Easter eggs and clues, but we never saw a Batman. And now we have the Batwoman show, and that's kind of on the rocks right now because we have some recastings and people leaving the show, and it's been a rocky start for that show. And I personally didn't like that show. I've kind of backed off the Arrowverse since Green Arrow has gone off the air, since Stephen Amell has left. I've kind of backed off it. Even The Flash, I kind of said, I'm going to take it in a different direction. I tuned into the DC shows on the DC network with Titans and the Doom Patrol, and I thought that was just way better content for the comic fan than what was on the CW shows. very campy, very always running into the same problems that got kind of stale on me real fast on some of these shows, especially after Stephen Amell left. This last year has been kind of like, I just want to back up from it. But I'm a huge Superman fan, so I am excited to see this show coming up, Superman and Lois. So, like I said, a couple more weeks for that. I think it's February 23rd, if I'm trying to look up a date right now. Yes, Tuesday, February 23rd, it'll be on. And it says that Batman could be on his way to the Arrowverse in the not-so-distant future. So I'm excited to see that and see how they do it and see how far established Batman is, if there's a Robin, if they tie in what they did with the Titans, because the Titans was on the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. So they might bring in the Batman from that universe. You never know. I don't know where they're going with this, but I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to watch it. So on to our third topic we're talking about. This is a show that I fell in love with recently. And like I said, this show is everything in chill. This is the name of the show. I'm not talking about just about comics. I'm not talking about just about comic book shows and movies and the MCU and Star Wars. This show, Yellowstone, really grabbed me. Yellowstone is about a family, the Dutton family, who owns the largest ranch in America in Montana, right next to the Yellowstone National Park. And it's about the family trying to retain their land through different obstacles, through the government, through the Native American reservation there, through people want to steal their land, want to build, just because they own a ton of acres. And I can't even tell you, but they've had the land on the show for 132 years. It's been in their family. And it's in its third season. The third season is right now streaming on Peacock. And the fourth season is due to hit this June. I'm going to tell you what, season 3, and I'm not going to spoil this for you because I want you to go. Season 3 left you with such a cliffhanger everywhere. I'm so excited for June. I'm so excited to see this show, Yellowstone. And I'll tell you what, people might look at this TV show and say it's cowboys, it's country, it's got nothing for me. It's a bunch of guys riding horses. It's not, man. This is a great show. A lot of drama, a lot of action going along. It's a great show. Go check out Yellowstone on Peacock, man. And you can get Peacock now for like $5 a month. And it's got a ton of content on there too. But Yellowstone is a really good show. But so I finished watching Yellowstone just a couple weeks ago. I binge watched it. I didn't know about the show really. And somebody said, you got to watch the show. It's a great show. So I turned it on, watched it, loved it. Watching the Super Bowl this last Sunday, and here's a commercial for a Yellowstone spinoff called Y 1883. And when I looked this up, they said it's going to debut sometime this year in 2021. But this is real secretive. Even when you go to IMDb and try to type this in, usually they have some sort of cast listing, even one person who's writing it, who's directing. There's nothing on this show. This is very, very hush-hush. But this trailer, and the trailer's now on YouTube. You can look at it. It's a teaser trailer. It's just a man talking for a brief couple of seconds and shows the picture of the Yellowstone brand on something, on a piece of a fence, and it says 1883. But reading about the show, it's going to be a spin-off, a prequel, to show how the Dutton family got their land back in 1883. It's going to be an old Western type of show. The guy who writes it, Taylor Sheridan, he's a great writer. He's already written a ton of Westerns. And he's written this show, Yellowstone. He was on Sons of Anarchy. He played the Deputy Hale on Sons of Anarchy. He's a great actor, and he makes a little cameo from time to time on this show on Yellowstone. But he's writing this show with his partner right now, and I can't wait to see this spinoff whenever it hits this year. Also, what I want to tell you about now, too, is this is a great thing if you hadn't heard about this. HBO Max. HBO Max is owned by Warner Brothers, and they have declared right now that every movie they release from now on will be streaming the same day it's released in theaters on HBO Max for no additional cost. And you can get HBO Max right now for, I think, $15 a month. It's got a ton of content. It's got all your HBO shows. It's got all your the original shows. It's got a ton of older shows on there and cartoons. It's got all the DC stuff on there. HBO Max, $15 a month, and you get the new movies that are coming out in the theater for free. It's a great deal, and I know a lot of these different streaming services are doing this now. Netflix has a lot to compete with now. Amazon Prime's got a lot to compete with now. Hulu, a lot to compete with now because everybody's doing their own streaming service. And if you look at the logo of this show, Everything in Chill, you'll see I've put in different logos for different streaming services and different brands that we talk about on the show. And Peacock is one of them. Disney Plus is one of them. And I'm just telling you right now that these, and now CBS All Access has become Paramount Plus. So all these, and HBO Max, all these own channels have their own streaming services now. So we need to really see what content we want to watch. And it looks like your bills are going to start going up because people can't get away from streaming new stuff. And everything's going to its own service. So you think you're saving money with your cable bills, but then you have 4 or 5 different streaming services and you're right back up to paying $100-something a month for streaming services and internet. Man, it's crazy. A lot of stuff going on right now. Beginning of the year, the theaters have started to let movies back in. We've got our first movie coming out next month. Black Widow's coming out for the MCU. I can't wait to see that. Like I said, we'll do another show next week. This is a quick intro into the Everything and Chill show. I wanted to just talk about WandaVision and Superman and Yellowstone spinoff, in which we did all that. But I'm real excited to get to know you guys on the show. Hopefully you can send me in your comments. Send me what you want to talk about, what shows you're watching, what movies you're watching, what you're into right now. Maybe you can pique my interest on something I haven't watched yet, and we can discuss it. So I thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much. I'm Rob Hunter, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
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 Okay, see you later.